This is Phase Ed Music.
Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's stream with the Prophet Society Familia. We are super excited to be here with every single one of you guys tonight, family. Go ahead and make some noise in the chat. Drop those locations in the chat. We do got the entire gang with us tonight. We do got the entire family with us tonight, family. Go ahead and drop those locations. Let me see where you guys are tuning in from. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal trading week this week. Last week was absolutely on fire. We ended off the week extremely strong. You know, shout out to one of our savages that's going to be on the call tonight. All right, but let's see what we got in the building today. I see we got Chicago in the house. As usual, shout out to my Chicago squad. We got Sacktown in the building, Colorado, Miami. We got New Zealand in the house, San Diego, Brooklyn, Michigan. What's up? We got Vegas in the building. We got Orlando, Jamaica, Bahamas. We got New York checking in. Welcome, family, Minnesota. I see y'all. Brooklyn, what's up? Again, super excited to be here with every single one of you guys, as usual. And like I said, we do got the entire squad with us tonight, family. So I want to go ahead and just let the squad say what's up to every single one of y'all. We do got the boy Skaggs in the building. Shout out to the boy Skaggs. Skaggs, say what's up to the family so that they believe me and they know I'm not lying.
Got a lot to go over, so excited to be on here with y'all, and we'll be sharing some value soon. Appreciate you, my guy.
Oh, yeah. Next, we got Mr. Wall Street Ray in the building with us tonight as well. Ray, my brother, go ahead and say what's up to the family. Let them know that you are ready to absolutely dominate this week for sure, my brother.
Hey, man, it's your boy Ray, man, trying to show y'all a better way, man. Y'all already know the vibes. Ready to get this week rolling. If y'all ready for the sauce and not be lost, drop some sevens in the chat. Let's get it this week, man. Let's go.
And then last but never least, we have Mr. Prasad, Mr. Young Legend, Young Lion, Mr. Balls of Steel. I know that sounds crazy, but if y'all was on our call on Thursday, you guys would know exactly why we call him that, right? Mr. Kyle Prasad, what's going on, bro? How you feeling, bro?
What's good? Hope everybody is having a blessed and relaxed Sunday. We caught a lot of pips the past couple of weeks. I mean, just over the past last week, we caught over 700 pips. So, quite frankly, I'm very excited to be on this call. I'm very excited to see what this week has in store for us with the economics, with the news releases, with the trade setups. And with that being said, it's also another special day that we are at 990 subscribers on the channel. So if you guys have been catching these pips with us, you guys have been receiving value from us, subscribe to the channel, share the channel. Let's get this channel to over 1,000 subs before the end of the stream. You know, you guys can help by liking the video, by, subbing. And with that being said, you guys never know. We might have a special treat for you guys, but let's get it, guys.
Let's go, family. As you can see, we're all excited to be here with every single one of y'all. All right, I hope you guys are excited as we are, because, again, it's another week that we're able to come on here and just continuously get better over time, right? So I see we got West Coast LA in the building with us, Colombo, Sri Lanka. We got Vermont, South Central LA. We got Brooklyn in the building as well. Family, go ahead and smash that like button. Right, we don't really ask too much of y'all, right? But the one thing that we really do would appreciate is if you guys do go ahead and smash the like button, because it does help us out tremendously, right? But we're not going to waste no time. We're going to go ahead and get straight into the value, so that you guys are prepared going into this week, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off by just, you guys know how we do it, take a look at the news for this week, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that we understand the type of events that can happen this week and so that we understand at what time, the days and the times, guys, that we have to be aware of added volatility because of certain news events, right? So let's go ahead and go through the calendar really, really quickly and see what we got, right? So for tomorrow, there really isn't nothing too crazy. We do have just monetary policy meeting minutes for the Australian dollar, right? So that could definitely bring some volatility for the Australian dollar, depending on what is actually being said in those actual meeting minutes, right? But overall, for the most part, it's nothing too crazy from Monday. Going into Tuesday, family, we do have dollar news at 8:30 a.m. with the PPI, right, which is probably gonna be the most important one for that Tuesday. Is probably that PPI release to see exactly if things are starting to turn around, right? PPI, guys, measures pretty much the change in the price of goods and services for producers, right? For the business owners, right? So obviously, if this is going higher, that is not a good thing, right? That's cutting into the profit margin for a lot of these businesses, and it's gonna pretty much lead them to have to act as well, right? But if it comes down lower, then that could be something that of positive, for these businesses, right? Because now it's, obviously the cost of goods and services is actually decreasing. But overall, that could definitely shake the markets going into this week. We do have the wage price index for the Australian dollar as well Tuesday night. And yeah, that can definitely bring some volatility as well. Going into Wednesday, we have a very interesting Wednesday, guys. It's probably going to be the most impactful day of the week where we could experience a lot of volatility with CPI for the pound at 2 a.m. right before London session. Again, you guys should understand what CPI is. We talk about it pretty often. In fact, the CPI report, you guys, is probably the one report that has been the go-to for most traders, right? That everybody is trying to pay attention to because we're trying to see if inflation has finally plateaued or not. Right now, over there in the UK for the pound, I mean, their inflation is still going crazy, right? Their inflation, guys, is now at above 10%, and they're actually expecting it to come out even higher, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see how the market does set up going into that release on Wednesday. Now, we do have CPI as well for the Canadian dollar, which again, it's going to be something that is definitely going to bring some volatility. So if you are trading any Canadian pairs, please be mindful, guys, that Wednesday we do have that news release that could really shake things up for sure. And then we also do have core retail sales and retail sales for the dollar. And then the end of the day, we do have the unemployment rate and the employment change for the Aussie as well. So again, Wednesday is going to be a very interesting and volatile day, guys, for a lot of these different currencies that we like to trade. Now, going into Thursday, there's only two things on the actual calendar, one for the pound and one for the dollar, right? The one for the pound says the autumn forecast statement, which is tentative, which means that the time as to when this is getting released is not set in stone. I have not even done any type of research on what that is, so I can't even give you guys no type of breakdown, but I will do my research to give it to you guys next time we do go live for y'all here on Tuesday night or Tuesday morning or whenever we do go back live, right? But we do have the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index over here as well on Thursday, guys, that will impact the dollar, and nothing on Friday, all right? So for the most part, that Wednesday is probably going to be the day that we really just got to be aware of because there's going to be a lot of volatility, guys, in the markets during that day. Okay, so that is our news for the week. All right, so overall, I'm excited to see what the hell the market is going to do for us, though. But what I want to do is I actually want to go ahead and let some of the guys actually come on here now, right, and really just give us an insight as to what they're looking for going into this week, right? So whoever is ready, one of the boys, if you guys are ready to go ahead and mark up some charts for the family. I know I'm also going to be taking some notes as well, seeing what you guys are looking at. Because I'm going to be trading this week, right? I haven't really traded at all last week. Like, last week was a very chill week for me personally. So this week, I need to make some money, right? So, for sure. But I see Skaggs, bro. You ready to go ahead and do your thing, my brother?
I mean, I have some updates. Yeah, I mean, I have a few things we can go over for sure. Let me get a roll call though real quick in the chat for anybody that may still be holding something with me. Because as you guys know, a lot of what I'm about to talk about, we've been talking about for a while now. Hold on, my trading view is not open. Okay. 1 second, family. I'll hijack the screen here in a second. But let me get a roll call. You guys tell me if you're still in with anything, if you guys have been on the live trading sessions. Let me hijack this screen now. Okay. Well, we got Bitcoin, which is always a fun asset, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. At least not right now. Hold on, let me pull up chat. Let's see. All right, I see we got Lou in oil. Eric said holding oil buy. George said gold sell. I most definitely don't have you guys in a gold sell. And if you are in a gold sell, we could explore that, but that is not something you'd be holding off me. So I definitely see that we have a few people still holding the oil buys. I will go over oil first, because this is something that we looked at last week, right, Jude? Right, Saint in the house also went oil. All right, shout out to you. I know there's a few people holding along on oil still that may not be on the call. I know people like Kimmy, who's probably going to catch the replay. Shout out to her. She's also holding oil. All right, so there are a few of us that are still in this position. And I still believe, I think I said this last Sunday and the Sunday before, I still believe oil is probably the one setup this week you could probably still execute off of. There may be like one or two other things that I'm looking at this week potentially to execute off of, but oil remains for the most part still kind of inside of its range, right? Really having kind of broken out. You guys may know, and you may have seen a little tweet that I have here, that we are bullish on oil and we are still targeting this up towards potential 106 levels. So we're looking for the swing in oil still. This has been a battle. We've been battling this now for 25 days, nearly a month, on trying to get this move to the upside, up to these 100 levels, filling out some of this wick here. So as far as like setups that I have for this week, oil's probably again one of the ones we could look at as a breakdown. Now we did go long last week. I did strike oil longs. I kind of posted this all over social media. It is out on Twitter. We did take longs late in the day over here just to show you guys the 1 hour setup. Actually, I'm gonna have to go to even a lower time frame. So what we really played is Friday. There was what news was this? Was this CPI news? Somebody jump in, refresh my memory. What was this news here? 8 a.m., right? 8:30 a.m. Yeah, this is CPI on Thursday. So what we had was a nice bullish move. Really what I was playing in here was just a nice little bit of a retrace. We jumped in after we kind of got this decline. And for me, it was just kind of like, really just playing the demand that was down here. There were a few volume signals. I'm not going to get deep into like the 5-minute, 15-minute nonsense that we're really looking at in this moment. We struck longs here at 85.30. We continue to kind of hold this. Now, as far as this week, I think we come back down in this price area, right? I think we kind of get the same little setup where we kind of fill out some of this imbalance here in the market. We kind of break below this low. So for people that are not in this trade, basically what I'm telling you is the same price that you see where I tweeted out that we went long on this is basically where I'm looking at it retesting this week, right? I'm looking at it kind of just building up liquidity early week, kind of already doing that right here with these highs. I don't think these highs hold into the end of week, but I do think in order for us to break these highs, we need to swipe lows, fill out some of this inefficiency that I highlighted here, and then potentially even play below this little range. So if you kind of look at the same setup that I took over here, all right, if we break this down on like a 5-minute chart, this is like the same kind of idea, right? Where you get like a nice impulsive move, then you come and you wipe the little range and you hold within structure below that range as really just the same thing I'm looking at over here, right? I'm looking for price to dip below where the demand came off of before, but still holding in a structure point, right? So this is like a high probability setup for me. Now, my problem with this is that there is still some inefficiency down here. So as you guys know, the only way I could visualize a stop loss for this right now would be like telling you guys, look at 86.30, which is like the preferred entry area. Obviously, we're looking for that move to 106 for the TP. The only way I could logically build a stop loss around this right now would be for like, you know what, if it runs below this low. I don't like these kind of stop losses on oil. It's kind of wide. And I also don't like to completely solidify my idea on a Sunday. You guys know I like to, I like to execute in real time, right? I like to look at what's happening in real time, make my judgment. So what I really want to do is I want to see price come down here, and then I'm going to make a judgment call based off the action that I see. And that might be like as you guys know, like a lower time frame liquidity buildups, lower time frame wipes, erases, change of characters, right? Little standard smart money concept things that I'd want to see on the 5-minute in this area, right? Maybe a little bit higher, something like this. And then I won't adjust my stop around that, right? I'd, tighten it up, play around it. Same idea here. Our stop loss was, 20 points below the low was like the idea. Actually, I think I was playing this low. But yeah, same idea. This would be my setup on oil. I think this is probably the best setup that we have this week that hasn't fully gone parabolic. I know Kyle's gonna go over a lot of stuff. Moves that went kind of parabolic last week. A lot of pips got captured. This is something that I see that's kind of lagging behind, and there's still a lot of opportunity in. Again, in the higher time frames, we're looking for this to move to 106. Right, this is not new unless you're new to the channel. Right, these moves to the upside are basically what we're looking for. I don't know if anybody else on the call has an opinion on oil. Usually I'm the main person that kind of goes over it, but Ray, Kyle, Abel, if you guys have more to add to this setup.
Oh yeah, I like those longs, bro. I like those longs, bro. If you're in them, hold them. If you're not in them, look for an entry this week, because that is a very great possibility of playing out.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. And again, guys, if you guys are in these positions, for those of you guys that already said you're in them, finding this entry, again, it's not necessary. This is just me giving everybody a setup that's not in this yet. Because again, I do believe this still is good. I would be buying anything below these two highs. Any little pullback that you can get that's logical, try to add on to your position. The problem with that is I tell people to do that, and they get, you get too degenerate with your risk. And I know for a newer trader, it's harder. Like a newer trader, you should just grab your entry, go break even, chill. But if you can control the risk in a way that makes sense, and not stack like a degenerate, then yeah, you can keep pulling back until you break these highs. Because ultimately what we want to do is swing this like some of our other trades that I'm about to just go over. So I really do quickly want to go over EU. Kyle, I know you're going to want to talk about EU as well. I'm going to just really give you guys an update on this because we have finally started clearing some targets. If you guys were in EU last week, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what you officially called, Kyle, because I wasn't on the call, but I'm pretty sure it was EU and probably GU. If I had to guess, USD CAD. But if you ate off any of those trades with Kyle, let me know.
It was really just the EU buy, bro. Honestly, I caught USD CAD from the top, so I didn't, try to take any other entries. But EU gave me secondary entry opportunities for sure.
Yeah, so EU was beautiful last week. We finally got these moves that came up and captured this liquidity at 102. If you guys know, we've been looking at this level clearing since I originally entered my buys. Not this current CPI reading, but the reading before that. So again, this has been another trade we've been developing for about a little bit over a month now. For all intensive purposes, this has hit take profit. Again, we were looking at 102. I will be transparent. Since we have made this breakout above the parity level, I have not closed out anything additional. So the way I kind of see this, and this is why I don't use hard TPs, is yes, we were looking for it to come up to 102. But the idea is that this is liquidity that remains to be taken. Some people will look at this and say, oh, I'm going to set my TP right at the other order block because that's where price is going to stop. And that's not the reality, right? Because there's always more liquidity to be taken. Obviously, even at this high above these wicks, there's again just additional liquidity. This is why I kind of don't use a a set TP, because at this point you're limiting yourself. I mean, that's 120 additional pips by just not having a TP. Yeah, there are situations where it taps and falls. Yeah, of course, that's always the risk you're playing by not doing it. But in this case, we snagged an extra 125. I have extended these targets. I am looking as high as 107.50. Do I think this is going to be a straight line to 107.50, guys? No, right? Obviously not. I would prefer it. I would love to see it. I welcome it. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Once we kind of push above this level, if we even do, again, we're just going to create more liquidity like we did at like this point where you kind of broke above structure. And then at that point, you're going to kind of like fade off for like a deeper correction. You'll probably come back for some of this. But my point here is like, there's really nothing that I want to do up here unless you are very specifically a seller and this is liquidity that you want to play. And that's a part of your plan and you're looking for that sell. That's great. But that's not me right now. I'm going to watch what this does. We might eventually take a sell setup, but there's just nothing on this that I want to look at. But I did, again, want to tell you guys, again, this is what I've been telling you guys for about a month now. I'm prepping for these longs. You know, you finally got them last week and I wasn't able to talk about them. Same thing on NASDAQ, guys. I'm not going to talk your ear off with this. But as you guys know, we've been bullish NASDAQ as well. We remain bullish on this, again, the same kind of situation, right? If we go to the 4 hour, this is already at a point where, again, old targets are being met. So have I closed these buys? No, they're still open. I'm long on 2 accounts, one account from here and then a separate smaller account I actually kind of stacked in this area. So both trades still open, again, playing into inefficiency. Do I see anything here that's tradable? No. I am still targeting us to come up to this area. So if you are along with me, cool. This is what we're looking at. But keeping in mind, what did we just do? All right, we just took and built up more liquidity. So honestly, guys, this week is another week where I'm probably not going to be doing too much unless something sets up beautifully to the downside. Unless I see a setup midweek, it's going to be a pretty basic week. I'm going to be just looking at oil. Actually, hold on, this is a mistake because this liquidity is taken. It's not waiting to be taken. The liquidity waiting to be taken on this would be below this wick. Because now there's a liquidity buildup below here that's not been tested yet. So, and then obviously this. So this is your upside liquidity or downside liquidity. So I'm either in one of 2 things this week, either looking at buys off this liquidity, or as we move up into here, I will close out some of my buys from lower. But yeah, those are the updates, family. These trades finally, after a month, really starting to pay out. This is paying out as a 1 to 31. EU is paying out as a 1 to not yet a 1 to 72, but this is paying out as a 1 to 44. And then oil is, yeah, I mean, that's too early to count. But yeah, that's all I really have for you guys. I would sit on your hands on most things dollar related, and I would stalk oil for potential buys at 86.30. So right, Kyle, you guys could take over if you guys want to add to the conversation. That's cool too. I'm just
I'll
gonna
add
chat
to
real
this.
quick.
I'll
You think
add to
NAS
this.
comes down to 11 to 8?
That 1 to
you got,
44 is OD. Like, I don't know if everybody in the chat knows what that means, but essentially he's saying you could have made 44 times what you risked on that trade. So imagine risking $100 or risking $1,000 if you have that to risk. Like, that's absolutely phenomenal. So amazing trade by you, bro. I know a lot of people ate off of that. I mean, I literally took EU and NAS before I went on vacation, and that was like over 3 weeks ago. So
yeah,
you know,
that's
and one
wild.
thing I gotta give Skaggs his flowers, man, because I'm like a day trader, right? Damn near a scalper, right? But I wouldn't consider myself a scalper, but I like to be in and out of my trades every day. And just us being able to sharpen each other, I've really been able to grow and just being not just a swing trader, but a position trader. I think there's levels to this that people don't really understand. Skaggs will hold a trade until it starts getting warm outside again, and that's like through seasons if he has to. And it's just different, bro. You trading on another level right now. So I will hop in here. Did you want to show anything else though?
I didn't want to just address chat real quick, because somebody wanted my thoughts on CPI.
All right, bet.
'Cause I was not live that day. So yeah, my thoughts on CPI 7.7%. I will say definitely came out lower than I expected. I think I'm on record for saying I definitely wanted a little bit like as near to 8% as we could. It came out at 8.2 the when we took these entries over here, the previous one. And I said, again, I did believe in the whole stagflation idea where like we talked about it when it was over here as well. It was like inflation was coming out at 8% for a while. Like, it was kind of teetering around. It wasn't really going up and it wasn't really coming down. Right. So when we initially took these positions, it was like off that idea. And it's like everyone's like, oh, well, inflation's high. And I was like, yeah, it's high, but it's like hit a ceiling. It's like it's not getting higher, right? Which is really like again, it's an accomplishment in itself, right? The Fed and the market will see that as an accomplishment as itself. First, you gotta halt it, then you can start working on reducing it. So like this is the first time we've actually seen, a drastic reduction down to 7.7. I said it when Powell was kind of speaking and throwing his ideas out. Again, I know what the Fed says. I know that they're going to change or add to their interest rate targets, but I do think that the fact that inflation is beginning to turn a little bit, that's it's indicative of a plan that's working. Does that mean the Fed immediately has to go to 50 basis points? No. Do I think they do? I think it is likely. I feel like you're closer I feel like you're closer to the Fed going to 50 basis points than you are from them not. Right? Like they've been at 75 for a while. If they wanted to go to a full 100, they would have already done that at some point. They would have they would have stayed aggressive. They would have went 50, 75, 100. They wouldn't go 50, 75, 75, 75, 75, 75, 100 unless inflation was, continuing to tick up, which it's not. It's now ticking down. So again, you're closer to that 50 than you are, far away from it, right? You're not going to remain on the same path for longer than it is until you switch. So again, that's why I sit on this area of like, long, basically, everything against the dollar. Does that mean I don't think the dollar is still a strength? I do, but I would say based off the last CPI reading, again, that the Fed, the most likely response from the Fed is that they increase their target, meaning that they want a higher rate, but I don't think that they're going to get more aggressive on the path to that. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's like, yeah, higher rates are coming, but the path is slowing down. And what that's ultimately going to translate to on some of these like larger daily charts, what you got to understand is like, again, like accumulations take a long time. So even if you're saying, okay, cool, the Fed is like beginning its pivot now, so maybe like this is going to be your broader accumulation. Like this is just going to play like, something like this for like a long time until you do get like a spring and like, it takes off. And that might take again, a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years. But yeah, I think a lot of the pain to the downside is mostly over. To be quite honest with you. And I think CPI is beginning to reflect that. So that's my thought on that. Gives Cactus flowers too. His patients have taught me so much about the market. So yeah, I mean, if you're patient, like again, you guys could do a lot. The 1 to 44, like if this doesn't motivate you to have patience, then I don't know what will. And some people say this is hard, right? Like put it this way. This is literally, guys, literally a 34-day hold, right? Just put a 2 in the chat if you think you really can hold a trade for 32. Like if you find that hard, if you think, nah, that's too hard, I don't think I could be that patient. Let me get a 2 in the chat. And just be honest. Like, I mean, there's no shame in it. Like Ray said, Ray likes the lower time frames. There's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of very successful people like that. To each their own. Right? But some people think this is difficult. But I want you to ask yourself really, like, is this more difficult than trying to catch something every day? Because if you really think about the effort behind this, there's like none. It's like, this is like 99% effortless. Like I didn't have to do a damn thing to this since I pushed the button. For 33 days, technically, I didn't have to do anything at all. I mean, other than the fact that the obligation that I have to like, the business and the channel and like being live with you guys, that like really I could have just pushed the button and did nothing, right? Went break even. So there's no effort, right? So like this is inherently by all areas of like metric in terms of like easier, it's way easier. Because again, what are you gonna do? Push the button, like ask yourself how many times you gotta push the button to get 44% at a 1%. I never took more risk. Well, I mean, that's a lie. I did take more risk. I had a bunch of other positions that I also closed. But again, guys, like the effort behind it is not hard. So it really just is, it's a mind game. It's a mind game. And it can be very simply solved by just not opening the app. But that's like me telling you guys not to open Facebook or not to open Instagram or to stop Snapchatting, to stop tweeting. Like, y'all addicted. I know. It's hard. It's hard. I am too. I'm actually probably the biggest addict here, no cap. Got more screen time than all these boys. But Ray, you could have it, bro. I see nothing else in the chat. Never considered holding that long. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But listen, family, let me get some fire emojis in the chat for this boy Ray. I know this boy is about to throw down some sauce. I'm about to get my little notepad ready so I know what areas to scalp off this week.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Skaggs, man. Dude is an absolute beast, as well as everybody else. And it's just like, it just goes to show you. I mean, I have my weeks, I have my days, and then it's like I might have a slow week, and then you got Kyle sniping news on Friday, and then you got Skaggs giving y'all these position setups. Like, we have so much versatility on this call alone. I need y'all to truly understand that regardless of what your trading style is, regardless of the way you perceive the market, 9 times out of 10, we got something for you. We got the fundamental side, the sentiment side, the technical side, whether it's lower time frame, higher time frame, scalp, swing, you name it. So, big shout out to everybody on this call, man. Like I said, if y'all want that sauce and not be lost, y'all tapped in with the right crew. So with that said, believe it or not, I don't see a whole lot. I'm notorious for taking trades on Sunday, just pretty much jumping the gun. But truth be told, I don't see a whole lot. I am taking a look at this GA just because I can't let too long go by without me taking something. So, I may be kind of forcing this. I don't think I am, though, just due to the fact that if I do just analyze this price action here, I do got a nice sweep of this high with this high. And even within the high that swept, we do have another micro sweep, I guess you can call. I don't really have a name for the lower time frame sweeps. It's just a sweep. Like, the markets are fractal. So whatever you see on the higher time frame, you could also see it on the lower. So when I see the market sweep here, and then I also see it sweep here, that's almost just extra validation for me that high is strong, right? So I see we pushing down. We got the nice big bearish engulfing. We hesitate here. So I would like to see us clear out that weak high right there, push into this area. So I'll give you guys like a solid number you could play with. And 7663, I think that's decent. About a, let's say, 28 pip stop. That's kind of big for me, but I'll go ahead. I'll deal with it either way. It is Sunday, so I don't want to, get caught up trying to be Superman or nothing like that. So I do see this being a nice potential trade setup. Now, obviously, I did start on hold on, let me check this real quick. Just 1 sec, guys. Okay, bet. I'm checking the group chat. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that wasn't missing nothing important. But just with that, that's what I see. And obviously, this is the lower time frame. So if we do just go to a higher time frame real quick, I'm getting set up in my office, guys. So that's why I ain't moving too much. Just a sec. I was watching the game. I want to come into the office so I can give y'all my undivided attention, my family, my undivided attention. But let's just look at this, right? I see this low here, and I question its ability to make a higher high, okay? So whenever I see a low and I'm questioning its ability to make a higher high, I mean, it has to go lower, right? I mean, the market's only going to do one or two things, right? It's either going to go higher or go lower. So just with that, I want to see this actually push down a little bit more. So with that said, I am targeting this low. And since I'm targeting this low, and this was an entry, I want to say this was last week, was it? Maybe the week before, the 22nd. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. I was actually looking at this sell, but I decided to take that GU one instead. But now the market is just, continuing to go lower, right? So understanding that perspective from the higher time frame, I automatically was assuming that this high would push down somewhere within this area. So with that, now I'm just looking for continuations on the lower time frame. So I get my higher time frame reversal points, if that makes sense. And then I can go to the lower time frame and find continuation points. Okay. So higher time frames for reversals, lower time frames for continuations. All right. So just with that, this is what I personally want to see happen. This is literally the only thing I see for the day as well. So, typically I come in swinging on Sundays, but, I'm pretty chill right now. We still got this high here. We made this new low, and I'm looking at all of this as correction, retracement type structure. So just simple impulse down, then we correct up, right? Obviously, it ain't just that simple. There's other things we look for, and those other things are, I got an area of imbalance here, that bearish engulfing, which is pretty much that imbalance. You got a weak high here that I'm gonna use for internal range liquidity. And I also have these fake sales, right? None of those sales, and I just want y'all to start studying the body language of the chart, right? Like a lot of people get so deep in the terminology and stuff like that, it's hard for us to really see what's truly going on, right? But just really think for a second. Do you think that these highs are going to make new lows, right? When I say new lows, do you think highs that look like this are going to push the market way down here, right? If the answer is no, then more than likely you need to be looking for another point of interest up here, hiding in the cut, right? Because the thing is, we get so caught up on the high that's right in front of us, we fail when we neglect to recognize the high that's hiding over here in the corner, right? Where the liquidity is probably being built up at, or probably being hidden from you, right? So as traders, a lot of us want to pay attention to, again, what's happening right in front of us. So we see, oh, look, a lower high. Let me sell right here. But I believe that if you do that, you're falling right into the trap, right, that they're setting for you, for the people that, and if you trade support resistance, by all means. I mean, if you're consistent enough, you'll make money. Like, I ain't here to bash nobody technique. But again, you want to buy lower and sell higher than everybody else. Because if 100,000 people are pressing sell right now when they see this triple top or whatever you want to call this pattern, if 100,000 people are selling, some people drop in standards, some people drop in micros, minis, whatever. Let's just say there's $5 million in stop losses resting right here across the world. And if I'm JP Morgan, if I'm Goldman Sachs, if I'm, any of these hedge funds, whatever, banks, institutions, whatever you want to call them, and I know for a fact that I can manipulate these 100,000 or 10,000 people, whoever's trading this short right now, now I can manipulate them, make them confused, right? Then I'm going to take their money away from them. And once I take their money away from them, those trades are now lost, and then the real sale will happen, right? Now, the reason why, again, this happens is, we're not creating the money. You're taking the money. I heard somebody say this, but money is never created, at least from us, because we're regular people. We're not the anything like that. So essentially, in order for us to make money, we have to take it from somebody else, whether you're a business, whether you're a trader, regardless of what you do. Anybody on this call that makes money, you're getting it from somebody else. The markets are no different. Okay. You have to see what everybody else is going to do and why they suck at trading and why they lose money and exploit that, So don't just look at it from one frame of mind. Look at it as, okay, what does 90% of people see? And how can I see it differently? Right. And essentially that's how, you're going to make money. So that's pretty much all I see, guys. Let me check the chat. Gene Real Dan. Oh yeah, that was Andrew Tate. You're right. I was wondering where did I hear that from. That show was Andrew Tate. He said anybody that's making money, you're taking it from somebody because we're not the Fed. We can't print it. Yeah. So the markets are no different, man. The markets they manipulate. So you want to just make sure you're on the right side of the of the trade at the end of the day. So will you miss out on opportunities? Absolutely, right? But it's all good, because you want to trade with the highest probability. You don't just want to take every setup that's available. You know what I mean? I'll take a look at GJ. I'll be real. I don't trade it often. I do not trade it often, but I'll take a look at it. All right. So if I'm just taking a look at GJ, I'd probably want to see this wick get taken out. Okay. Probably want to see that wick get taken out. We do sweep this low here and create intense bullishness. So there's a chance that this can be a potential reversal point. And again, I'm on a 4-hour chart. So there's a chance that that could be a reversal point. There's also a chance that the market wants to seek a little lower. I don't think it will, though, just because we are taking lows successfully and pushing higher. Right here, we took some lows, pushed higher. We could argue that we got some equal lows right here, right? And that we're going to come revisit that area of imbalance. So, you got a couple options here. I do feel like we'll at least take out this area. This area is questionable. Or potentially this area down here. So regardless, I don't see nothing today. I don't see nothing that's probably going to happen in the next few days, if I'm being honest. So we'll probably just continue bearish, in my personal opinion. Do I see a setup? Not really, that I personally like. But I'll look for a little bit of bearishness if you could find an entry somewhere, and then we'll return bullish a little bit later down the line. So essentially kind of the same as GBPAUD. We're going to get some bearishness. We'll potentially return bullish after we start taking out some of these lows. All right. So that's what I see, guys.
Bro, GJ, yeah, we need to I'm gonna need you to let me know when you do find an entry.
Right.
I'm bearish as well, bro. I mean, honestly, right now I'm up because I did take a sell on it a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I am up 600 pips right now, but
right.
I would like to get everybody else in. She been a little aggressive on the sell side, and again, I've kind of said this too, is I do think on the weekly time frame, this thing is ready to kind of drop. And I've been kind of on the public record of being a person that is a little bit more bullish on the yen than the average individual probably should be.
Right.
And I do think we're kind of getting to that point where the Bank of Japan is going to switch. So I would say if you guys do find any setups on GJ, and again, she's been kind of annoying. At this point, I need her to do a deeper pullback before I even try to consider putting people into swings. But yeah, I'm going to continue to say it that I fully expect GJ in the coming months to be trading probably below 140. So take from that what you want.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a reason why I impulsively went short at 169. It was very impulsive. I don't even have a logical entry. It's it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. But I hopped in because again, of what I see on the weekly, we've taken out a lot of weekly liquidity. And we've returned back to the range with some force. So I don't know,
Mm,
man. You look at
that
that
makes
weekly and
sense.
you can't tell me it's not the same thing you looked at on like GA, but on the 5 minute, you know?
Yeah, that actually
The
that does
triple
make
top
sense.
with the swipe of the highs, and then like you have that ugly wick that we can come fill. Like you can't like come on, this if that's not obvious to you, then study Wyckoff some more because it should be.
Yeah, yeah,
If I'm wrong,
you're making
cool.
great sense
I'm
right
gonna
now.
be very publicly wrong. It's okay.
But no, you're definitely making a lot of sense. What I like what you said is we did sweep those highs, but we rebounded aggressively. And that's what I want you guys also understand when it comes to what's the difference between a sweep and a break of structure. Because a lot of people might see something like, okay, the market is trending up, and then the market may do something like this, and be like, oh, look, that's a sweep. But then you got to understand if the market is starting to, trend down slowly, the likelihood of that being a sweep isn't as high as if the market goes above and then immediately comes back below. And then we actually start getting the corrective structure after the impulse down. So the fact that
Especially when you get the live obese, like look at like zoom in on that, yeah, what you just circled.
what I just circled.
No, yeah, on the actual price action, like you just
Oh,
circled
okay.
it and erased it. Like zoom in on the actual, you can actually see the candle formation. Like you can see the
Want me
live
to
OB
stay on the
that's sitting.
weekly? Stay on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
weekly.
yeah. Look at the candles right outside the range.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you use the same color candles, which by the way, I give you a lot of credit for doing because I couldn't even do that using my strategy. I have done this before though, like early on, like 2.5, 3 years in. I definitely tried this with like the same color can. I would do it the opposite way. My background would be black with like white candles, but um, yeah, I have tried this, bro. How do you like it? You feel like it helps you at all, or?
I feel like it helps me in terms of just looking at, it's almost like looking at the line chart, but a little more definition for me. Like I don't like seeing colors, because if I see red, I see blue, I see green.
So
I feel
I
like I'm
have a
gonna be,
question.
well, yeah.
And you probably never have even tried this. So I again, maybe I'll put you on to something new here. So when I tried this, my thing was I liked it, but I didn't like it. What I do like better than this, I don't know if you ever used a bar chart, like not the candlesticks, but the actual like the price bars
Oh,
instead.
bro, I don't even know how to read that. If I'm
It's
just
the same
like
thing as
this,
a candle. It's open,
this
high,
here.
low, close. It just doesn't fill out the body. Because a
Yeah.
bar chart is like in between a candlestick chart and a line chart in a way.
Hmm.
Um, it just removes the body. Like just when you look at the bars, the tick on the left is the open, the tick on the right is the close.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could trade it if I absolutely wanted to. It's
I mean,
just
it's no, I mean, it's literally no different in terms of the data. I was just curious if it was like if you've ever used it because it's like the same idea. Because like I noticed you zoom out on your chart so much that it like looks the same way.
Yeah, you know
Like you
what?
don't
Now that
even
you
really see the
mentioned it, it
candle
doesn't
bodies.
really look different. Now that you really mentioned it, like, it doesn't like. Well, at least when I'm on a 15 minute, it doesn't. But now that you mention it, it doesn't look too different. I could see I'd have took that sell probably. Yeah, we'll see. I'll mess around with it. I'll mess around with it. That's interesting though. But yeah, man, I've just been on the candles. I feel like ever since I feel like I watched Sean Lee like 3 years ago. I've been on black candles. Like so far as my markups, they always black. But my MT4 on my phone is black and blue. So anytime I'm marking up, it's all black for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I might have to play around my chart colors a little bit, see what I can work out.
It just takes the emotions out of it for me. I don't want to see a big bullish blue candle. I'm like, oh no, I'm missing something. Like, no, I'm just looking for areas of liquidity. I'm looking for zones to be hit. I'm not looking for anything else. And it just
Yeah,
helps
no,
me
I
see
like
what
that.
I need
That's
to
a
see.
it's a good example of little things you could do that can impact your emotions.
Right.
Because you're right. Like I was watching a video the other day, and somebody else was talking about that too. Is like you have an attachment to seeing that like nasty red candle. Because the reality of the market is you should be buying as it's falling, and you should be selling as it's going up.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and like everybody has their logic of like why they believe that, or maybe they don't believe that. But like I believe that because if you're buying when price is moving down, then that means you're letting price come to you. Because if you're buying when price is going up, that means inherently means you're chasing it because you're going in the same direction of it. Whereas, you know, if it's going against you, then you're trying to catch it, which some people see as risky, but to each their own. Yeah, bro, I like these little setups that we got, you know. Hopefully GJ gives us an entry, because what you're looking for on the 15-minute here is what I'm looking for on the weekly.
Say less, say less. Looking good. So yeah, family, that's all I got. You know, if y'all want to try out the black candles, test it out. Let us know what you think. You know, any other things that, you know, I feel like helped me out personally, I'll let you guys know. I also put like the little affirmations on my MT4, which it helps me personally. I don't know if anybody else is into that kind of stuff, but on my MT4, if you guys edit your RSI, right? I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be RSI, but that's what I use. You edit the RSI. So instead of having like strong buy or weak buy or continuation, whatever people put on their RSI when it hits certain levels, I just, you know, remind myself, you know, I'm the greatest trader ever. I have no emotions when trading. I'm a disciplined trader. I'm an 8-figure trader. Like, I'll put all this stuff there. So anytime I open up my app, I see my goals. I see what I need to do to achieve my goals. So, you know, little stuff like that, you know, always just looking at little tweaks and hacks to kind of help me do that. So how do you do that? Just add your RSI, and if you go into your MT4 and you add RSI, it'll let you literally type words on certain levels, like on the 20 level, the 50 level, the 60 level, whatever level, you can type whatever you want to type there. So that's what you do. That's pretty much all I see, guys. I don't know if y'all want me to keep going, or if Abel or Kyle, y'all want to share something, but that's all I see pretty much.
Dope.
Take a look at gold for him, Kyle. I don't trade gold. Maybe you do, but
I do not. Do you?
I mean,
You
I'm
might
in
have
gold.
Able.
I mean, I'm in gold. I can go over gold, but I mean, to be honest with you guys, here, I'll
Yeah.
hijack the screen. So gold
Yeah, go
got
ahead.
me
I
for
feel like
me.
Able will go over gold.
If he wants to, he can. Because gold for me is like Euro USD and Nasdaq. It kind of made its move last week, so there's like I'm not really know. But like for me, guys, again,
I'm
like
kind of still bullish. Obviously, we might get a temporary retracement, some selling
it's
this
been
week.
so long since I looked at it with you guys, because like this has all been captured. So like I have to even update my chart to even look at this. See, guys, when I look at something, I base it off of, you know, what's the next logical thing? Like, is there a clear next logical step? And it's like when you have an already existing, really trending market, you're either one taking advantage of this or you're expecting this to end. So like for me, like I'm not trying to take advantage of a market that just moved, you know, 4 legs up without a correction and then just took liquidity. So like right away, again, like EU and Nasdaq, this thing has already moved a lot. I'm
Same.
also short on this from 1649. So actually I went short after NFP, after I had seen like the kind of the shakeout. So like the wick was already created and I just ended up going along at 1649. And you know, I mean, we're up at, you know, 1,200 pips. That's actually a lot of pips. The thing has actually moved a lot now that I think about it. So yeah, this is just up over 1,000 pips, which is kind of crazy to say in like a course of a week. Taking a look at this now, it's like the question is like now that you've captured, you know, this daily high here, right? You've pushed above. Again, some people look at this as like an order block. I continuously tell you guys these are not order blocks, and that they usually get wiped. So I'm sure somebody took a loss on this. But it's like you've already kind of pierced above this structure, and it's like you're doing one of two things. You're either chasing it to the next area of structure, which would be like up here, which again could work out in your favor. Again, you're buying into a parabolic move, so you know you're looking to keep risk to reward very tight, or 2, you're looking for some sort of sell-off. And my problem with the sell-off is like there's not really enough information up here to warrant that yet. I mean, maybe if you go to lower time frames, you could look at some stuff. But like you don't even have like a minor breaker structure, right? So you can't even, again, the way that I trade with volume and all this, there's really nothing in here that signifies any sort of strong incoming move to the downside. So like right away when I look at this, my question is like, is this going to produce something this week that I even want to take advantage of? And the answer is probably not. But if I was looking for certain things, I would be looking for one, a push below here to see, again, if there's any sort of weakness that is involved in that. And if there is no weakness involved with that, I can maybe take low risk buy setups to the upside, which again would just look something like this, kind of spilling over, dipping below the support, coming back up, and then like me saying that, okay, there was really no selling activity down here. It's not really a valid break of structure. Let me see if I can get like a buy back up past this high and continue the trend. That's like your most logical play. If you're looking to sell, again, like you maybe have some order block action, but the reaction off it's been pretty weak. So it's like, what are you really looking for up here would be my question to you guys. So I don't really see anything specific that we could take advantage of. I will say in the longer term scheme of things, I mean, I'm pretty bullish this like macro. Again, like you guys know I'm in EU buys. You guys know I'm in these gold buys. I would say potentially speaking, and I don't think I'm this bearish on the dollar, which kind of worries me. But when I look at this on like a weekly, I might even identify this as like a larger reaccumulation like this. And again, I need to see what happens after we get to like 1800 for this idea to fully be like set in stone. But I see the potential for this thing to really, and again, people always think I'm crazy when I talk about stuff on the weekly time frame like this, but I really do see us come in and take out like these highs. If some of this demand can remain sustainable and like we can clear above here on some like hot, like some decently higher buying effort, I could see this potentially taking off on the weekly. Now that doesn't mean like, okay, cool, like this is the best spot to buy and we're just gonna enjoy this straight up ride. Again, that's like the least likely thing to happen. The most likely thing to happen is, again, we come up to grab some of this liquidity, and then it's probably going to be a really kind of painful pullback as we kind of fill in some of this and we come to even like test the lower bounds of this before potentially doing that kind of idea. Again, this might be a multi-month, multi-year type thing. This is a weekly time frame. So even just like over to here is 126 days, right? 3/4 of a year. But yeah, I would just be on the lookout because again, what I see here is clears of support, right? There's attempts to bring it down. They tried a lot. I mean, they built up a lot more liquidity here. Again, questionable. These are levels that I was surprised we didn't take, to be quite honest with you. But there is more liquidity built up here. So, could this be a spring to like a reaccumulation? And like we're due for something like that? Yeah, possibly. I am exploring that idea. So I'm really committed to holding my trades down here. Because again, any price below 1680 would be long-term nice. But again, like what you guys are doing this week, again, I know I bore you guys with the long-term stuff, but that's really how I make my money. If you can somehow magically create enough supply up here to see a down week, I would expect price to come take out the last reaccumulation, which is 1703. So maybe yeah, I would still look at like 1785 before refall, but there's the possibility again. I know some people that know the way I trade. I know you guys see like the potential 4-hour OB here. I know you guys also see it on the 2-hour. I know if you go to a 1-hour, yeah, the 1-hour is, yeah. Like there's reason to think that maybe this lower time frame stuff hold, but I'd probably bet you anything that we spike this 1785 and then that's when we fall. So that's gonna be my magical blue line for the week. And we'll come back later this week and see what it is. Abel, I don't know if you have anything else for this. Again, though, my response would be like, this has moved so much in the past week and a half, 2 weeks, that it's probably not worth drawing your attention to right now. Anybody else with thoughts? Let me go check chat real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you with the gold as well. This thing is so overextended. We're due for some type of a move back to the downside for sure.
I agree with
Said
that.
I just bought. I would be if you just bought gold. I would be very cautious. Again,
Just
I mean, you
buying
have
is
momentum on
insane.
your side, but like you got to really ask yourself what you're doing on a Sunday up here.
Yeah, nah, I would not. Honestly, I feel like you could test that candle right there in the 15 and drop and feel some imbalance, if because we are on the third leg up. And if you guys remember the Elliott wave theory, 3 legs, and then we get a reversal.
Isn't this like 5 though? How many would this be? Would this be like 1, 2,
1, 2.
3? See, like, what is this? This is always like my question. What an
That's not a
Elliott
wave.
theory?
That wouldn't be considered a wave.
No, so why is this considered a wave?
That's not considered a wave. That's a pause. I feel like there's the big
Okay, they have a thing called a pause. Okay, I didn't know that. So is this all one leg? Is that what this is?
Now that's on a bigger scale. If you're looking at
Man,
a
Elliott wave is cap.
That's what I'm
If-
saying. Like, what are like? Is this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because like, I feel like if you don't count this, then you can't count this. Because I feel like there's no difference in my world. There's no difference. These are both reaccumulations.
See, the thing about Elliott wave, bro, you can give 10 Elliott wave traders the same pair, and they're gonna see 10 different things.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
always been my
there's
problem with
different
it, too.
ways. There's different ways.
Yeah,
But
but see,
I
that's
do
the
like-
problem. I feel
I
like
do
if
like
you
the
if
sweep.
you gave, like Ray said, 10 LA wave traders a chart and said mark it up, I feel like they would have more. Like if you gave 10 LA wave traders and 10 smart money concept traders the same chart, I feel like you would have more disagreement among the LA wave traders than
That's
you would the smart money
that's
traders.
true.
That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not here to bash anybody's strategy. I'm just genuinely
That's
curious. If
true.
somebody knows, like, do they count these as like? I would just, because how would you count this thing? Because this would be like a 5 leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I would count it.
and then they
Unless
take
you're just counting it as one.
the fib retracement into consideration. I think they like 61 to 78. So
None
I
of
don't
these
think that
61.
wouldn't be
38.2s.
right. So that would not be considered a wave. But regardless, screw all that, bro. Like
Yeah, nah,
what
you're
you
right.
got up there at the top, I like that just due to the fact that and like Kyle, I know you was talking about, testing that candle, but the way that I personally look at things is also take into consideration how far it has to drop, whether it's a retracement or not. I mean, we're still looking at what, like a 300 pip drop, even if it comes to filling that imbalance, right? And I feel like that high, like 400, right? 350, 400-ish. I don't know if that high has the power to do that personally. Now, I see it going up to where Skags has that internal range up there, and that being an area that could potentially cause a 400 pip drop, if not more, into your imbalance, and then we can continue higher, because I don't think that high to the left is stronger than the low to the right. So the high to the left will cause some interference or hesitation, but I do believe will continue because of the volume and because of the aggressiveness of this bullish push, right? It's not just an aggressive sweep. Like, that's an aggressive leg of structure. And like, I feel like that's important to understand.
Was I right in this? This is how you would identify.
That's how
this?
I would, that's how I would
Okay.
identify. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure in my mind I knew how you were identifying it. Okay. So like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, I can't even sell until I clear out one of those areas.
Do you clear? Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
It's like for me too, it's like, because again, like for me, I look at this and what you call internal range, like this to me is just like a smaller redistribution cycle. Because it's like there's cycles inside of, you guys, I don't have to explain to you guys, but like this is like your distribution, your markdown, your redistribution. And then again, yeah, there's liquidity that lives above those little ranges all the time. It's the same reason why I'm looking for price. If price were to fall, then the most logical place price falls to is below this range. It's just, it's like people, the imbalance, sure, but it's not even like the imbalance. Like that's why I don't even like imbalance, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna fill this out, but like, what is that saying? Like, this is like Like this is not a hard guess. Like this is literally a 400 pip window of like area that price could move. So there's just no lot. There's no like, I don't know. It's not concrete enough logic. It's more logical that it wipes the last cycle and again pushes below here, which again is fine because there's a billion pips worth of imbalance inside this move. This move is like 95% imbalance.
Right. Right.
You know, that's why we use imbalance as targets and not for entry, because it's like if you were using imbalance as an entry model, I don't even know what you would be doing in this situation.
I don't like the big imbalances. The only ones I play are the ones that are, close to the low or high, and it's not that big, and it kind of plays
like this
in conglomeration with the order block or something like that.
Yeah, so like this. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
but the reason I'm not taking
this.
that, the reason why I'm not taking that now, what the market could do is this is the area where the market is consolidating. That's a hezi for me. Like that's the way I classify hesitation. Now, if the market makes a new low and it pretty much proves bearish strength, that then I could possibly come up and use that dotted line you have as an area to come sweep, right?
So
But
you want to see like this.
yeah, that would have to happen. But if it just starts retracing from there or starts going bullish from there or something like that, then I'm not messing with it personally. Like I need to see
you want to see that break a structure.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'd want the same thing, but I'd also, if we're breaking below here, I need to see not only the break of structure, but I also need to see more sell volume come in.
Right.
This way I know, because I mean, like otherwise, if more sell volume doesn't come in on the break for me, then any sort of increase in buying activity can just send it high. That's what we call like absorption. It's because like they broke structure, but they didn't really break structure. They just brought, that internal structure, as you call it.
Right.
So when it's an internal structure break like that, I need some sort of sell effort just to back up that again. Because just because price moves lower doesn't really mean that there's a lot of, like a big institution wrote it lower. It just means that somebody, could have just moved their order in the market, made it more or less liquid, and then it just moved to the higher liquid area, which is what the market does 90% of the time anyway.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, again, like this move is like, I don't know. For me, like one big candle like this, when it's at a climactic high, 90% of the time you're pushing above this high. Like there's like this is not a strong, and again too, because look how much price moved here. All right, and again, that's why I'm going to show you guys I use volume. So look how much price moved here, like nearly 90 pips. Like look how much volume was associated with that move, like nothing, like virtually nothing, like in comparison to all the other volume. Like you think if you move the market this much, that there'd be a lot of effort behind that. And it's just not true. It's like they put in more effort over here and like they barely moved price in comparison. So like that lets me know that this is just like, it's a fat finger. The books were thin. It's not a serious move. So yeah, I think the most logical thing again is that we come up and we take the liquidity pocket, right? Come up into some of the imbalance. And once we push above here, again, the sell-off will be more probable. I won't even say it'll come because you can find a lot of demand through here and you could take out more liquidity as long as the volume is high. But it's more probable that you sell off up here than off anything down here. But yeah, that's I like that. I'm glad we're all mostly in agreement.
I like that zone you got, bro. Like that's
somebody said congrats on the 1K subs. Yeah, shout out to you guys. First off, thank you. I don't know if anybody said anything. I did notice before though we did ticked over 1,000. Shout out to you guys.
Let's go.
That's not even really an achievement for us. That's like
somebody jam that music, Abel.
Oh, I ain't got no music loaded up ready. Otherwise, I would. Maybe DJ Abel got something, but I got nothing loaded up right now.
Look, man, if y'all been getting that sauce, man, look, this is just me. If y'all truly been getting sauce on these calls, I would post this live stream on your story and tell all of your followers to go subscribe right now. That's just me.
No kizzy. Let's
get this thing to 2,000 by the end of the week. 2,000 by the end of the week. Y'all do 2,000. I'll personally do something special for everybody. Like I'm still got to think about what it is. We get to 2,000 in 1 week. Like I definitely got to show love to somebody. It might be random, But hey, do your part and
And let
invite
me
people.
have to be random. Have to be random.
Yeah, I can't do nothing for 2,000 people. But I'm gonna pick somebody that I see tagging and posting. I'm gonna pick one of y'all. We're gonna do something for y'all special, man.
All right, what else we got in the chat here? Let's see. Any other pairs? What's your opinion on Wyckoff? I've been trading Wyckoff for what's damn near now 6 years. So you could ask me whatever you'd like. I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I humbly label myself as like a Wyckoff expert. I feel like I feel like I could maybe take that title. If not, I'll gladly compete for it. If that's the way that it's gotta work.
I'll give you that title. You was
It's like
when I first started.
I'm gonna claim it until somebody wants to try to take it away. I'm cool with it. But yeah, it's been my bread and butter for 6 years.
I mean, your only competition is dead, Mr. Wyckoff himself.
Yeah, shout out my boy Rich. Shout out my boy Rich.
Bro, when everybody was trading trend lines and retest, that's when I got started, right? I got started in that era. When I saw Skaggs charts, because I've known Skaggs for a while now. When I first saw his charts, I thought he was crazy. I'm just being honest. Then I seen his profits. I was like, oh, it must be something to this Wyckoff, man. It got to be something to this. Like, but he was on that liquidity and all of that before it was even, hip. Before people was even hip. Before people was even talking about this type of stuff. So, like, true OG in the game for real.
I mean, honestly, guys, a lot of smart money concepts, regardless of who is the OG teacher, of whoever taught you, and because there's like a million people you can learn from, right? So, again, it all does come down to Wyckoff. Standard Wyckoff is just the market accumulating, sweeping liquidity, creating what Wyckoff calls a spring with very specific characteristics that create an uptrend until you get another trading range, which ends up being a distribution, which again usually takes liquidity, and the cycle plays over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And again, most smart money concept traders focus on specifically just this point. A Wyckoff trader would focus on this entire points. And the reason being is like the smart money trader is typically playing like this move. They're usually playing the sweep of liquidity to the sweep of liquidity, and then they kind of scratch their idea and they just kind of wait for the next setup. So like same thing, they're like entering here and like exiting here. It's like the opposite. It's like what I'm doing is like I'm entering, it's inside of here, but I'm looking to like exit like all the way up here, which again is like perfectly reflected in some of our setups like NASDAQ, where I'm, grabbing peak swing lows, the lower ranges, and then targeting, much higher and playing that for multiple months. So, now Wyckoff is super cool. Again, it's all smart money concepts, more or less, are, derived from it. But it's a little bit more advanced than most people want to be. I'll be honest. Like if you want to like really dive deep into Wyckoff and volume and like effort, and it's a little bit more hands-on. Where's the Wyckoff 101? I mean, you guys can go to my channel. I mean, I'll do a selfless plug, but you guys can search up Skag Academy. There's a few things. Again, my course, which will be on the Profit Society website when everything launches, will also be a great place to learn. Again, though, there's a whole bunch of different ways to look at the market. Ray's way to look at the market will be there. Kyle's way to look at the market. We all look at it slightly different. My way is not any better than anybody's, but it is the way that I use. Let's see.
I just gotta make one announcement too, boys.
Go ahead, bro.
We finally did crack 1,000 subs. That's major. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to every single one of you guys that's watching right now. All of you guys that subscribe during the stream. We do appreciate the hell out of you guys for helping us get to that goal. Obviously that goal has been big for us. Just so now we can actually go ahead and start to turn up a lot more, right? So big shout out to y'all that subscribe during the stream. We appreciate you guys. We love y'all, and we will continue to provide you guys with the utmost, the next level type of value. Hopefully you guys have learned from this stream. We don't touch just surface level information. Like we actually go ahead and provide you guys with, you know, information that is like people are charging thousands of dollars for, right? And we're literally giving it to you guys all for free. So, you know, we appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in, for showing us love, and hopefully you guys are getting value in return.
Shout out to Abel. He must have been babysitting.
Yeah.
Because we
I was gonna
definitely
say
crossed
something,
that
but I was
bridge.
like, let me just not. Let my
But,
boy have his let my boy have his moment. It's all
oh,
good.
man, let him have it, man. Let him have
Let me get my moment, man. Let me eat, man. I got, you know what I'm saying?
it.
I will say,
We
family,
love you,
I'm
bro.
gonna be having a lot of fun with this little Twitter thing. So I don't know if Ray or Kyle are on Twitter, but I do urge you guys. I will be dropping more value and trade updates on Twitter. The company will also be working to get its Twitter account back. I don't know what's going with Elon and why he temporarily suspended us, but I have to figure that out. I have a feeling it's just something ridiculous with the email setup or something. But yeah, make sure you guys again tap in to us on social media. You know, my Twitter's at ByScag. Abel's is probably just at it's Abel Melendez, and whatever Ray and Kyle's maybe if they use it. But yeah, we're just trying to connect more, give you guys more like quick little updates. We'll also be using this greatly on news days. So if we're not live here on YouTube and there is big market news, like I know PPI is going off this week, I'll probably be live tweeting PPI, just kind of giving you guys updates, my thoughts on those results. I usually do this stuff on Instagram, but Instagram doesn't really do a great job of um you know, keeping track of it. All my stuff kind of just disappears after 24 hours, which is just no good for anybody to kind of go back and learn from. And I love these timestamps. So yeah, just a little self plug for all of us. I don't really have anything else for you guys. Abel, Kyle, Ray, I'll open it up to you. If not, I will see you guys on the live trading calls this week. The website is mostly migrated. So if you guys are waiting for that, you guys can go back into the community. Make sure you guys are ready for the live trading calls this week. That will be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. You guys can watch us execute off any ideas we're looking at. Again, like this oil trade, like that gold setup, maybe. And I'm sure Ray will have some GA or, you know, any of those other pound pairs that he trades that he's looking at as well. So I don't know if you guys have anything additional to add, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm good on my end, man. I appreciate y'all. Looking forward to this week as well. But I'm good to go. I'm gonna take my little short on GA, call it a day, wake up another day to get paid. Let's go.
Let's run it. Let's run it.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
You know, honestly, you know, I didn't really have too much, but I did want to kind of just recap just a little bit of you know, EU and GU. You know, I don't really want to be too repetitive because, you know, we all kind of have the same analysis at this point. You know, sometimes we're conflicting, sometimes we're not. But, you know, in this point in time, I'm, you know, pretty much still bullish EU until we get some sort of break. And, you know, maybe we can see that soon. But for now, you know, Skaggs was bullish since down here. You know, me personally, I wasn't bullish until we saw an extra confirmation here at this candle. You know, I was calling buys in, you know, some of the chats. I was sending out alerts in the telegrams, the Profit Society, everywhere. And, you know, this one was actually called out live though, on the CPI trading session. You know, I hope you guys are probably still in that. But if you're not, just wait for a break. And, you know, I would wait for the sell side, like Skag said. So at this point, no longer buying until we kind of get into some sort of discounted range, right? So you know, anything below. So I'm gonna kind of delete this right now. So you guys know how to plan for your next trade. Anything, that's why I said look for the sell side. Because if you guys do potentially catch a sell up here, you guys can hold this counter trend idea, and you know, maybe I'll adjust my fib a little bit, but then you could start taking profit on these buys, taking profit on these sells, and then you guys can start buying up. So, just a little something there in EU. Maybe it comes down lower, feels imbalanced down there. Who knows? But yeah, same thing on GU, right? Maybe we start getting that break now, and it does that. Definitely a possibility this week. USD CAD. I'm not gonna go over gold. They kind of already went over that. USD CAD. I'm actually still in the sell from right here, and again, when I kind of sent out that blast alert for Euro USD at this level over here, the 9750 level, I sent the same thing for the USD CAD, and USD CAD has just been moving a lot more aggressively. So I'm not really looking to take any trades. Even that reversal I was kind of going over on EU, that potential retracement. We probably don't really see that clean of an entry for that until later on, like something like this, right? So, maybe we can get a break of these lows, and then we can see something like this, and then like this, and then like this, kind of similar to what we saw over here, right? That's something that could happen, but that's just kind of what I see on USD CAD. But honestly, again, there's not a lot of data to support a reversal right now. At this point, you're either holding, again, like what Skag said, you're either holding your initial entries, looking for some more profit, or you're waiting at this point for a reversal. And then that's really just short term. But these reversals, again, I want you guys to remember that they're intraday. I want you guys to remember that they are reversals, but not following the ultimate trend, right? So if you guys are catching USD CAD buys, US or your USD sells, take profit on these aggressively for sure, right? Like any of these sells, I'm only looking for like maybe 5% on some of these sell setups, right? That's enough to conservatively grow my account. And then on these long-term, swings setups potentially, I'm taking partial at 5%, but I'm going for more of like a 10% trade on some of these long-term trade entries, right? So understand your trade, understand your setup, understand what direction you're going in, and be mindful of that. And going into this week, be mindful of what we did last week, and again, be mindful of what direction you're trading into. But again, that's all that I see for this week. Shout out to y'all for the 1K subs. Show us love on the gram. Shout us out, shout the page out. Honestly, I always said this in my streams before, especially when I was streaming on my YouTube a lot more heavily doing the swing sessions. I always say that early adopters always get rewarded the most. Like you always think about it. Anybody that was early adopters to Bitcoin, anybody that was early adopters to a lot of things, they got rewarded and paid out the most heavily. So, I highly believe that that's going to be you guys as well. You guys are early adopting a movement that's going to be, one day you guys think that this is big. We're going to be, having millions of subscribers, at least in the tens of millions of subscribers here on YouTube and in the Profit Society. So with that being said, I want you guys to understand you guys are early to what we're doing and what we're potentially going to bring this thing to. So, with that being said, honestly, I'm done. Abel could go ahead and take it over and, kind of end off the stream and give you guys his recap and what he thinks the market's about to do this week.
Yeah,
So, Abel.
definitely appreciate you, my brother. I mean, family, there's not much for me to talk about. You know, the rest of the gang really held it down, doing a thing, gave you guys a lot of phenomenal opportunities. Really just gave y'all a lot of value, right? Like, if you guys got value on tonight's call, family, just go ahead and drop a 777 in the chat. If you have not liked the video just yet, go ahead and smash that like button as well on your way out. But we will be live inside of the Profit Society, profitsociety.co. If you guys are not a part of there just yet, you know, it is a social platform for traders. Make sure to go be a part of it. It is free to actually join right now, so go ahead and be there. And we will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during New York session at around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that you guys can see us execute, right? You know, these type of Asian session calls are more so just about the analysis behind things, where the New York sessions, guys, is all about the execution on those analysis, right? So, you know, we look forward to seeing you guys all there. And, yeah, I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your guys' night. Let's have a great week this week, y'all.